There is a brutal truth most people never confront. The old version of you is the biggest obstacle between you and the life you want. Not the economy, not your past, not your circumstances. You, the version of you that survived instead of grew, the version of you built by fear, shaped by comfort, and trained to choose what feels good over what makes you stronger. That old you wakes up without purpose. He negotiates with excuses. He avoids pressure, avoids responsibility, avoids anything that forces him to evolve, and every time you let him lead, you relive a smaller life than the one you were called to live. He was useful once when survival was the only goal. But your future requires more than survival. It requires strength. It requires standards. It requires the courage to stop protecting who you used to be and start becoming who you were meant to be. And here is the part most people never admit. You cannot carry that old version of yourself into the future you desire. He doesn't belong there. He cannot breathe there. He was never designed for the heights you're trying to reach. Until you confront him, you cannot outgrow him. Growth is never an accident. It does not appear because you feel ready, or because life suddenly becomes easier, or because motivation finally shows up at the perfect moment. Growth happens only when it is demanded, when the pressure becomes greater than your excuses, when your standards rise higher than your emotions, when you stop waiting for transformation and start forcing it. Most people treat growth like luck, something they hope will visit them someday. But luck is not what separates the exceptional from the average. Duty is the responsibility to evolve, the responsibility to act even when you are tired, uncertain, uncomfortable, the responsibility to stop worshiping convenience like a false god. Because comfort will protect your past, but discipline will build your future. The truth is simple. You do not become stronger by chance. You do not become disciplined by accident. You do not become the next version of yourself by hoping. You become him by choosing what is hard over what is easy, day after day. Growth is not gifted. Growth is earned. And the moment you treat it as a duty, everything in your life begins to rise. There is an enemy far more dangerous than fear, failure, or insecurity. Its name is neglect. Not the loud, dramatic kind, the quiet kind, the kind that creeps into your life one skipped habit, one broken promise, one ill-do-it tomorrow at a time. And before you realize what's happening, neglect has already rewritten your future. Neglect doesn't destroy you in one blow. It destroys you slowly, quietly, patiently. Every time you snooze the alarm, it smiles. Every time you say not today, it grows stronger. Every time you avoid the work you know you must do, it tightens its grip around your potential. The painful truth is this. Most people are not defeated by external forces. They are defeated by the small daily moments they refuse to take seriously. Neglect is the graveyard where dreams go to die. Not because you wanted to fail, but because you allowed yourself to drift. And here's what stings the most. Neglect feels harmless in the moment. It feels soft, gentle, reasonable. But over time, it becomes a silent assassin. It turns days into regret, years into wasted potential, and talent into a story you wish you had lived differently. If you've ever looked at your life and thought, I should be further by now, that wasn't fate. That wasn't bad luck. That was neglect. And this is where your turning point begins. If you're done letting neglect write your story, comment 8 right now. Commenting 8 means you're drawing a line in the sand. It means you're declaring war on every version of yourself that chose tomorrow over today. Because the moment you expose neglect is the moment you finally take your future back. Everyone knows what they should do. Everyone has a list of habits they want to build, dreams they want to chase, changes they want to make. But knowing has never changed anyone. The world is full of people who know better but live the same year on repeat because their knowledge never becomes action. There is a silent graveyard where dreams are buried not by ignorance, but by inaction. Not by lack of wisdom, but by lack of execution. Not because people didn't know what to do, but because they didn't do what they knew. And that gap, the space between intention and action, is where momentum dies, identity fractures, and potential evaporates. It's easy to read, easy to watch, easy to plan. But the life you want doesn't respond to intention. It responds only to movement. This is the truth most people avoid. Your future isn't waiting for more information. It's waiting for more decisions, more action, more follow-through. Because knowledge might open the door, but only execution walks you through it. You cannot improve the old version of you. You cannot polish him, upgrade him, or negotiate with him. Because the old you was built for survival, not success. He was shaped by fear, trained by comfort, and programmed to repeat the same patterns that kept you small. This is why small improvements never create big transformations. You're trying to build a new life with an old identity. You're trying to run a powerful future on a weak operating system. You don't evolve by adding more habits on top of who you've been. You evolve by replacing the identity that created those habits in the first place. It's not about doing a little better. It's about becoming someone different. Someone who no longer relates to excuses. Someone who doesn't negotiate with standards. Someone who doesn't try to fix the past version because he knows that version was never meant to survive the journey ahead. Here's the breakthrough. Transformation doesn't happen when you improve the old identity. It happens when you abandon it. New habits don't change your life. A new identity does. Every morning, before the world even wakes up, a war begins inside you. Not a war with other people, not a war with circumstances, a war with the weakest version of yourself. The version that whispers, "Stay comfortable. Take it easy. You've done enough." That voice is the remnant of the old identity, fighting for its life. And make no mistake, it knows that if you rise, it dies. So it negotiates. It bargains. It rationalizes. It tries to convince you that discipline is too heavy, responsibility is too hard, and growth can wait until tomorrow. But tomorrow is the lie that built your past, and later is the trap that kept you ordinary. The new you must respond differently. He doesn't argue. He doesn't ask for motivation. He doesn't wait for inspiration. He simply says, "Not anymore." Because he understands a truth the old version never could. You do not win this war once. You win it daily, hour by hour, decision by decision. The man you're becoming is forged in these invisible battles. In the moments nobody sees, nobody applauds, nobody praises. In the moments when you choose discipline over comfort, pressure over ease, action over excuses. This is the war that separates who you were from who you are destined to be. If you're ready to fight this war, really fight it. Comment 8 below. Commenting 8 is not for motivation. It is a declaration that the old you will not win today. Not this time. Not ever again. Because the moment you stop negotiating with your weakness, you become unstoppable. There is one question that will reshape your entire life. One filter that will expose every excuse, every habit, every pattern holding you back. Does this serve the man in becoming or the man in outgrowing? Ask this when you wake up. Ask this when you choose your habits. Ask this when you face temptation, distraction, or comfort. Because every decision you make is a vote either for your future or for your past. The old you will beg for the familiar. He will cling to routine. He will defend the very behaviors that kept you stuck. But the new you demands alignment. He refuses to participate in anything that drags him backward. This is where most people collapse. They try to build a new life while still protecting the behaviors that belong to their old identity. But not you. Not anymore. From now on, every action must pass through this filter. If it elevates you, you keep it. If it weakens you, you kill it. No debate, no delay, no negotiation. Because greatness isn't created by occasional big decisions. It's created by thousands of small decisions that all point in the same direction. Every transformation carries a price. You cannot become the next version of yourself while clinging to the comforts that built the old one. Change will cost you something always. It will cost your laziness, your pride, your excuses, your familiar routines, your old ways of thinking. And yes, sometimes it will even cost you relationships that depended on your weakness. But here is the paradox. The price of not changing is far more expensive. Staying the same will cost you your purpose. Thank you for watching. The same will cost you your purpose. It will cost you your confidence. It will cost you the future you were meant to live. Comfort feels safe in the moment, but over time it becomes the quiet architect of regret. People fear discomfort, but discomfort is not the enemy. Discomfort is the evidence that you're breaking patterns, shedding identities, rising into new territory. Discomfort is the doorway to freedom, because comfort protects your past. But only discomfort can build your destiny. So when growth feels heavy, remember this. You are not being punished. You are being rebuilt. You cannot become a new person while living in the environment that built the old one. Identity is not shaped by desire alone. It is shaped by immersion, by what you listen to, what you tolerate, what you repeat, and who you allow near your mind. A seed cannot grow in dead soil, and neither can you. If your environment normalizes laziness, you will call mediocrity balance. If your circle avoids responsibility, you will mistake excuses for wisdom. If your daily input is weak, your output will collapse under pressure. Transformation requires new surroundings, voices that challenge you, routines that sharpen you, habits that elevate you, people who remind you of your potential, not your past. You are not just breaking habits. You are breaking environments that once made those habits possible. Most people try to change internally while staying externally the same, and that is why they snap back into old patterns, but not you. From now on, everything around you must align with the man you are becoming. Your environment must reflect your evolution, not your history. When you show up day after day, when you choose discipline over impulse, action over excuses, standards over feelings, something extraordinary begins to happen. You don't just improve, you transform. The habits change first, then the standards, then the thoughts, then the posture, then the energy in your voice, the conviction in your eyes, the weight of your presence. People around you start to whisper, "You're different," not because you became someone else, but because you finally stopped living below who you really were. This is the moment when the new identity takes over, not in bursts of motivation, but in the quiet consistency of a man who now expects more from himself than anyone else ever has. Your evolution becomes visible. The confidence, the clarity, the purpose. They're not performances anymore. They are who you are. Because transformation doesn't just elevate your life. It replaces the former version of you with someone undeniable. Not a better man. A reborn man. A man who rises not once, but every single day. He chooses his future over his past. At this point, the choice is no longer intellectual. It is personal. It is a vow between you and the man you know you can become. Because the old you is not going to surrender quietly. He will claw, negotiate, and beg for one more day of your life. But you are done giving him days. You are done shrinking to fit a past that no longer deserves you. Today marks the line in the sand. You outgrow him now. Not tomorrow, not eventually, now. You rise because your future demands it. You rise because your purpose requires it. You rise because there is a stronger, sharper, more disciplined version of you waiting to take the lead. This is your resurrection, your rebirth, your return to who you were always meant to be. Force yourself to outgrow the old version of you and do not look back. If this message woke something up inside you, don't let the feeling fade. Claim it, own it, act on it. Comment 8 below if today is the day you choose discipline over excuses, identity over comfort, and evolution over the old version of you. 8 means new beginning. 8 means you're done negotiating with your past. If this hit your spirit, tap like so more people can hear the truth. Hit subscribe so you never slip back into the old identity. And share this video with someone who's fighting their own battle. This isn't motivation. This is your new standard. Let's build the man you were meant to become.